2023, 12:04 p.m. And I'd like to call this meeting to order. And Rose, if you don't mind, may I call on you to assist us with the roll call, please?
Of course. Commissioner Cuddy-Eye? Commissioner Cuddy-Eye? And then Co-Chair Toya?
Here, present.
Co-Chair Washington is excused absence. And then Commissioner Lance?
Here.
Commissioner Marks is excused. And Commissioner White Hat is excused, absent. And then Commissioner Yellowhair?
Kore.
Yeah. Commissioner Zavala?
Here.
Thank you. And then we'll go on to land acknowledgement, and Co-Chair Toya said to go ahead and say that for the group. Flagstaff City Council humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's Indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by Native descendants, border mountains sacred to Indigenous peoples. We honor them, their legacies, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose Asquili. And we can move forward to item number 3, which is public comment. At this time, anyone from the public is welcome and open to express any thoughts or ideas. Thank you. So it doesn't seem that there is anyone from the public to make a comment at this time. So we can then move forward to item number 4.
Which is none at this time.
Yeah, none at this time. So we'll move forward to item number 5 to discuss items. And that would be 5A, introduction of new Indigenous commissioners. Newly appointed commissioners will provide introduction and give a brief history of their current work and prior experience. Commissioner Maria Zavala and Commissioner Darren Lance, welcome.
Thank you.
So Maria Zavala is present with us today, and we will let her introduce herself kindly to the commission, and much appreciation for you being here and taking the time out from your day to join us.
Thank you so much, Leo and Chinia. To you guys, it's so happy to be here. I'm so sorry for the delay. I promise. I will say part of it was probably Yaki time, but also my computer is just not doing what it's supposed to today. So thanks again. I work at North Country Healthcare as the health benefits advocate here. A lot of you have met me out in the community. Half of my job is getting people set up with affordable health insurance, so food stamps access. We're focusing on the public health emergency unwinding, and the other half is community partnerships. I got my degree in public health with a minor in biology here at NAU in fall of 2021. And I grew up in Tucson, so I got my Associates of Science there at Pima Community College and graduated from Amphi down there. I am Pasco Yaqui, so my people are down there, and we have a little community in Guadalupe as well, and throughout Mexico, and in California, in Fresno. So my background with Indigenous communities is the youth camp I used to run down there, starting at 16 until I was 21 when I moved here at 22. And I'm working on bringing them up here to do some rafting and some side projects I'm doing, and still very, very active with my community there. I'm very grateful to be part of this team with so many leaders in the community and learn from all of you guys.
Thank you, Maria Zavala, and I am honored to have gotten a chance to visit your home, Paskuyaki. So I welcome you and appreciate you being here with us today. Okay, next, Commissioner Darren Lance.
Hello, my name's Darren Lance. I'm a local Flagstaff citizen. Went to high school here, graduated class of 92. Um, I started my career as an electrician back in 97. 4 years later, I got an electrical contractor's license. I've had a license active since 2001. I've started my business back then as an electrician and was really a small time electrician. It was just me and another guy, me and a helper, kind of like a mom and pop shop. Um, wasn't until probably 2015 is when I kind of started stepping it up as far as having a larger team with me. Currently we employ 20 people. I also started a plumbing company called Indigenous Plumbing Company with a friend of mine named Gerald Redsteer. He's my partner. He's actually the qualifying party of the plumbing license because I am an electrician by trade. But I also started a general contracting company last year with a friend of mine named Aaron Bahi. So I currently am helping out run 3 businesses. Electrical business is our largest company. We've got some local acknowledgement as far as um, achievements like awards, like we won this best of Flagstaff for the last 6 years. So it was really, and I don't know if a lot of people know that I'm Native American because the name Lance is not really traditionally a Native name, and there's a little story behind that. My actual last name is or my birth last name is Lodog, Lowdog. So if on my Facebook account, I go by Darren Lowdog Lance, but I'm half Navajo. My mother, my mother is from Black Mesa. Um, my father's from South Dakota. He's Cheyenne River Sioux, and I've just been involved in trying to build business for Indigenous people. For this last, I don't know, 20 years. It wasn't just until recently that I've been able to grow my business to where it is now with as much people as we have. So haven't had so much involvement in Indigenous activities. More or less, I'm just trying to build the business and just trying to um, give us a footprint in the communities that people know that Indigenous people are conducting business and are growing business here. So that's what we're currently doing and currently a part of. But I'm enrolled in my father's tribe up in South Dakota, which is Cheyenne River Sioux. But yeah, it's a pleasure being able to sit here with you guys and learn about these topics. That was my point in applying for this position, just to see what you guys talk about, and if there's a way I can help out in this community doing that. Thank you.
Commissioner Lance, congratulations on your success. That is some amazing work you have accomplished. And I would also like to tell you that I am also honored to have visited your homeland, and it's a beautiful land. And so I would like to thank you both actually for uh, joining the commission. You both have excellent skills that will bring much needed, you know, uh, input to the commission that we greatly would need and appreciate from you both. So welcome both of you.
Thank you.
Co-chair Toya, can you go
Yes.
ahead and just real quickly, just have everybody introduce themselves again? Commissioner Cuddy, just entered the meeting.
Okay, are you able to kind of like go off of the who's all joined, and then maybe can you just run down the list of the individuals?
Okay, well, let's start with Councilmember Matthews.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you so much. I am Councilmember Lori Matthews. I was elected into office this last November, so I'm still new on council, and it was my pleasure to ask to be on this commission. I also have a nonprofit, which is a New Living, and we serve homeless working force, people that have employment, but have housing insecurities. And on any given day, we serve about 50% of our residents at the nonprofit are Native American, and so it was really important for me to get connected with this commission so I can learn more about various cultures, and because we have several rules and regulations at our living facility, and I just like to ensure that we are not conflicting with any cultural issues. So it's been my pleasure to serve, and I look forward to just continuing to learn and be involved. Thank you.
City Manager Greg.
Thank you. I think I have both my things unmuted here, so hopefully everybody can hear me. Greg Clifton, I serve as your city manager. I sit in on these meetings when I can. I do have one item I was hoping to, Madam Chair, to get this in front of you at some point during this meeting. It concerns the renaming of Agassiz Peak, and I'm thinking maybe about 5 minutes of time if it can so work out. And what else can I say? I've been serving in this capacity, going on my 4th year, having spent my previous, all of my career and most of my adult life in Colorado, mostly on the Western Slope. It is wonderful to be here in Flagstaff. I feel very blessed and love being in the mountain communities. I will share with the group quite candidly that one of the greatest accomplishments I feel I can attribute my name to since being here is the hiring of Rose Tohi, who helped form this commission and has had her involvement in so many wonderful things. So, Rose, hopefully you're okay with me making that statement, and I think I'll let it go at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you for the kind words, Greg. Those are really greatly appreciated.
Commissioner Yellowhair, you're next. Commissioner Yellowhair. Okay, let's go on to Commissioner Cuddy-Eye.
Oh, yeah. This is Diana Cuddy-Eye, and I've been a commissioner since it started. I am a retired oral health professional, and my last work was with the University of Colorado, Denver. So I am semi-retired, have lived in Flagstaff for over 20 years, and I am I'm Navajo, and I appreciate the introduction. And sorry that I came in late. I had trouble connecting.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Yellowhair, are you there? Maybe he's having trouble too. Commissioner Yellowhair? Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop
All
introduction.
right, I'm here.
Okay,
Sorry.
go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, to everybody. So here's my problem with the connection right here. So yeah, I'm on lunch with my son. So anyways, yeah, to everybody. My name is Jonathan Yellowhair. I currently work at Native Americans for Community Action here in Flagstaff, and I work as a substance abuse counselor. So I work primarily with people who are mandated for DUIs, domestic violence cases, child protective service cases. But I also see individual clients, so people who self-refer and all that good stuff for just mental health treatment in general. Probably about, at NACA, probably about 90% of our clients are Native. And so with that, I have a real big passion for advocating for our community, helping folks navigating, suicide ideation, addiction, things like that. And so, and that's a big part of me wanting to be on this commission, is advocating for this community because I'm a part of it as well. I'm 7 years in recovery, and you know, I always want to advocate for our community members who are navigating mental health issues or struggling with addiction. So, and welcome to everybody. It's nice to meet you all. So,
Yeah, Commissioner Yellow here. Okay, I think we did, we're good on introductions, and then, oh, I guess I can, we'll go ahead and go on to the next one.
So we can move forward to item B, which is the introduction of Coconino County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council Director Michael Jackwitz, who is here with us today, and we welcome him. Director Jackwitz will provide an introduction on his work.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Toya. Good afternoon, Commissioners, Councilmember Matthews, City Manager Clifton. I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you all today and talk about the CJCC and the work it's doing, especially the work that is pushing the justice system to be more responsive to the needs of the Indigenous community members. So I'd like to start by taking a very small amount of time to tell you about me and my background, and then give an overview of the CJCC, and then talk specifically about the work that the CJCC's Indigenous Initiative Subcommittee is doing. So I could share my screen. Okay, are you all able to see?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, so first, a little about me. I came on board with Coconino County as director of the CJCC about 4 months ago. Prior to that, I was with a Philadelphia-based organization called OIC of America, which was founded in 1970 by the civil rights leader, Reverend Dr. Leon Sullivan. It's a national office to 31 affiliates across the country, all working toward economic justice for the poor. Most recently, I was director of operations, and a large part of my job was overseeing a workforce reentry program, providing justice-involved individuals skills training, wraparound services, and placing them in jobs within high-growth industries. During my time there, we were able to serve over 3,500 individuals through that program. And I'm excited about this position with the CJCC, and specifically, I was excited about the opportunity to work directly with policymakers across the entire justice system and ensure that the system is both keeping the community safe, but also treating folks fairly and justly. And it's been a pleasure so far working with passionate and thoughtful people across the county, hearing about the needs throughout the communities within Coconino and assisting the council members to make some inroads in addressing those needs. So what is a CJCC? Or Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. So the idea of the CJCC started in the 70s, and there are dozens across the country. The idea behind them was you have leaders in government and the community who are focused on particular aspects of the justice system, like policing, the courts, health services for folks in the system, the list goes on. But the community would benefit from a body that's looking at the system as a whole and how all these pieces fit together. So to do that work, Coconino formed its CJCC in 2005. The CJCC has 22 voting members, as well as a number of associate members. I won't go through the full list, but they include our presiding judge of the Superior Court, our sheriff, chief of Flag PD, our county manager, City Manager Clifton, representative of Flagstaff City Council, Councilmember Matthews, our county attorney, just to name a few individuals. Summer of 21, the CJCC created a new strategic plan where they identified 5 priority areas with multiple strategies under each area to further the mission of the council to advance safety and justice. One of those priority areas is Indigenous initiatives. So the issue, and I don't believe this will be a surprise for this commission, Indigenous populations are overrepresented in the criminal justice system, underserved by justice-related community resources, and lack adequate interpretation services throughout the justice system. And the goal, given these challenges, is to eliminate the overrepresentation of Indigenous populations in the system and ensure equitable outcomes regardless of race and ethnicity. So how is the CJCC proposing to tackle that goal? There have been 4 strategies proposed to work toward it over the next 2 years. And a lot of this work is being pushed through, driven by our Indigenous Initiative Subcommittee, which is chaired by the wonderful Ms. Rose Toby. So the strategies. First one, the justice system is hard for most people to understand and navigate. That also applies to members of Indigenous communities. So strategy one is to create a position to help Indigenous community members who are wrapped up in the system to understand the system a little better and to help them find their way through it. Strategy two, in the same spirit, but in a bit more of a fundamental way, even if you're going through the system and you need to get past it, you need the people on the other side of you to fully understand what you're saying. And you have the right to communicate in your own language, so ensuring that there's an interpreter available to facilitate that at all stages of the process. For strategy three, I've heard multiple stories from folks living on tribal land who are afraid to come to town because they have an active warrant. And the fear of being arrested for a past, potentially minor offense could be limiting how often they're going to the grocery store or visiting family members in Flagstaff, Page, or other parts of the county. So the strategy is to start a pilot amnesty program to reduce those active warrants for Indigenous populations. The last strategy, to address a problem, it's helpful to have an accurate sense of how big the problem is. So the CJCC will be gathering data, both qualitative and quantitative, on how big the disparity is between our Indigenous population and our overall population's experience with the justice system. And as part of that, we are something particularly exciting. We're hosting several listening circles next week in Flagstaff, Tuba City, and Page to begin to capture more stories about how people have interacted with the justice system and bring those stories back to the CJCC. So each of these strategies are in different places, and some are in very early stages. But I'm looking forward to, if you'll have me, delivering future updates on successes we've seen with these strategies and what future goals look like. Any questions about any of these strategies or about the CJCC?
The listening circles you had mentioned, the times are, you talked about how they're going to be in different communities. Are you going to have those posted somewhere where we could attend?
Absolutely. I could send the flyer to Rose if it makes sense for distribution, and we do have the flyer around town in some places that you might notice. We're also planning on having posted on social media platforms for Flagstaff, the county, and Page. They'll be taking place in the evening. So in Flagstaff, I'll be at the Aquaplex next Monday from 5:30 to 7. In Tuba City will be next Tuesday, also 5:30 to 7, and then in Page next Thursday at the same time.
All right, that sounds great.
This is Diana. When you talk about interpreters, do you have a male and female interpreters?
The interpreters currently, and we had the subcommittee actually had a great presentation recently from the coordinator for interpreter services, Miss Judith Costello, who has multiple interpreters who she reaches out to. So it's my understanding is it's fairly hard to find interpreters and to find the interpreters when you need them, because oftentimes it's talking 2 weeks in advance, but you'll need them kind of when you do. So I don't believe that there's a guarantee if it's a male or female individual, and I'm not sure honestly currently the number of male to female interpreters, but that's a good question.
Just to add on to that, Michael, Commissioner Kariai, the interpretation services that's available will only, they'll go with whoever's available. So that's usually how that goes, and either whether it be in person or by phone, whatever the situation may be, and so that's how they work with that.
Yeah, that was my next question, whether it had to be in person or can they go by phone? Thank you.
this is Commissioner Toya, and I do have a question. Along the one of the slides, it indicates that you have different members in the organization, and at the second to the bottom, it has Indigenous community member, or yes, community advocate. Is that just to one individual that you have there, or are there many or others that you have in your circle there?
Absolutely. So the in the voting body, there is one position for Indigenous community advocate. The individual in that position is Dr. Christopher Jocks, who's a professor at NAU. There are other individuals who are, the CJCC is open for the public and various members of the community to attend. So within the voting body, there is one position for the Indigenous community advocate, but there is kind of greater opportunity within the full body of the CJC for others to participate and voice their opinions.
Thank you. I work pathways to community at the jail, and a lot of this conversation is happening amongst not only at work but in the community. So I'm glad all this is finally getting some light on it, as I do help individuals Monday through Friday with reentry. So I feel that all this support for not only just the Indigenous community, but the whole community is going to benefit from the meetings and the gatherings. So one thing I would like to also say is I am appreciative of the time that you chose, which is 5:30 to 7, because a lot of us do work, and a lot of us that do want to participate, those are the best hours for us. And thank you so much for that.
So, thank you.
And then co-chair Toya also wanted to add that there are also associate members, which include a lot of the service community, like Guidance Center and NACA and other community partners that are associate members of CJCC.
Thank you. And if I may ask, do you have different committees? From what I understand, do you have a behavioral and an Indigenous? Oh, you do?
Absolutely. We have the CJCC has 3 standing committees: a behavioral health subcommittee, Indigenous initiatives subcommittee, and a juvenile justice subcommittee. There are also committees that are created that are more project-based when need arises. So currently we have a key performance indicator subcommittee, which is working on developing a dashboard and a set of indicators for the CJCC to make public facing.
Great, thank you. We are currently, myself and a few others, Seren Lipschultz and Somana Tutsi, we are in the works of starting a Northern Arizona Behavioral Health Coalition for Indigenous people. So I'm quite sure we will be reaching out to you in the near future.
That'll be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, let's see, are there any more questions? Then I can share the listening circle flyer, unless Michael, you have it.
This is Commissioner Yellowhair. I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So Michael, if say we do have people that are interested in interpreting or applying for these positions, who would we send them to, or what type of information should we pass along to them? You're muted, Michael.
That'd be helpful. Thank you. So absolutely. So especially if there are individuals who are interested in participating in the subcommittees or attending CJCC meetings to get a sense of the work that's done and get a feel for it, then if you would email me, then that'd be fantastic, and I could pass along the information, further information on the CJCC, as well as the subcommittee meetings and the full committee meetings and when we meet, are available on that website as well through the county, which I could put the CJCC website in this chat.
Okay. Well, I was referring more towards someone that potentially may want to do interpreting work. And so would that also be sent to you?
For the interpreter work, I know that Ms. Costello is really looking for more interpreters. So I think that'd be a very welcome service. I could pass along her contact information. So if you do want to reach out to me, then I'll pass it along to Ms. Costello. Let me also find her email address, and I'll include that in the chat as well.
Okay. Well, I have your email, so if you can, I could just email you, or you can email it to me. So yeah, because I have a person who I described this position to them, and they're very interested in it. So, and they very much meet all the qualifications for it. So, and they're currently looking for work, and so, but they're going to get scooped up pretty quick. So I wanted to make sure that, we advocate for the people who are in these systems and, potentially get this person in there. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So Rose is sharing a flyer for the CJCC meetings that will be upcoming.
I have a question.
Any more questions?
Councilmember Matthews?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner. How are you, what's your outreach for local residents to be notified of this listening circle? Are you, besides Facebook and other things, are you putting them in places where we have a high traffic area where people can see it and pass the word on, or how's that working?
We've posted flyers around Flagstaff, Page, and Tuba City. We've also partnered with individuals at Page and Tuba City to post additional flyers. And this Tohi has emailed the chapter houses as well.
And then I also emailed all the commissioners that were commissioners at the time, and then all the IPAC members and city council, and then all of Indigenous Circle of Flagstaff, including NACA and other service organizations, so that they can either post them in where they work, or to also inform the patients or clients that they work with.
And I apologize, I can't figure out how to lower my hand, so I don't have any more questions.
No worries. You all did a good job though with the posting, because I got 3 notifications of the flyer, so that was pretty good.
If I could add too, just quickly about listening sessions, we're also intending this to be a foundation for a ongoing process with the sessions. We're currently doing 3 listening sessions. We hope that there is continued conversations with the community kind of past this. And part of that is, if we're getting their stories and relaying them back to the CJCC, we want an opportunity to go back to the community in 6 months or however long it may be and tell them what happened, that we brought these back to our decision makers, and either these are things that are happening or these are things that are still not happening, to be accountable to them as well for what they share with us. And hopefully that these are the first ones. And I'm very optimistic for kind of their success, but I'm sure the next ones are going to be better. And then the ones after that. And this could be a continued dialogue. And I believe the system will be stronger as a result of it.
Thank you. And I want to encourage commissioners through your lived experience, your work, or your opinions, they're all greatly appreciated, because our voice is not only our personal voice, but it's a voice for our people and our community. So thank you all to those that take the time out of their daily schedules and, just me be a voice. So from my heart, I do appreciate you all.
And Commissioner Yellowhair, I'd really like to see you over there, because you're very open with some of the experiences that you've gone through, and it'd be really nice to have you just go there to the Flagstaff one and just share some of that with the people that we're going to have there. Thank you.
Your best.
I'll try my best. It really all depends on what type of refreshments are there. Nays.
There's no fried bread, Jonathan.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll see if I can schedule it. I do have a really hectic April, and so I'll be sure to make an effort. So
Thank you, Commissioner Yelher. Any more questions or comments before we move forward? Okay, we can move forward to item number 6, general business, possible vote. A, discussion and direction on in-person retreat for Indigenous Commission. There will be a discussion regarding an in-person retreat for Indigenous commissioners. To provide dates to consider, agenda will be developed with commission input. There will be a training session on open meeting law and commissioners' responsibilities.
Co-chair Toya, would you be okay, and with the rest of the commissioners, if it's okay, if we can move number 7 first and then go to number 6?
Sure. I
Okay.
don't have a problem with that. We'll go ahead and move to 7 and return back to 6.
And then that way, City Manager Clifton can have the floor.
Yes, that's what I was I'm trying to get to was our city manager, so he can have some time there also. Yes, City Manager, you may.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Rose. The topic I'd like to address, and forgive me for doing so without it being on the agenda or allowing for any preparation, but this I think could be a fairly quick discussion. The topic is the renaming of Agassiz Peak. And just for quick background, and I think everybody here may be aware of this already, this is not a city endeavor, but the city has interest in seeing this move forward. But this is an endeavor that is originating from the community and from the youth in our community specifically. And we're glad to see it happen. So with that as quick backdrop, there has been a submittal to the Arizona State Board on Geographic and Historic Names. That's a rather long title. And that submittal came from, and I'm looking at the form right now, it came from students and young people in our community, Indigenous, regarding a proposal to rename Agassiz Peak to the historic Hopi name. The state agency has reached out to the city, and Madam Chair, if I can share screen, I'll just show you, because it's not a very long email. It's only 2 paragraphs, and you can read it along with me if that's okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. This is the email. Hopefully you can see that. This came across last Friday, or a week ago Friday. To whom it may concern, my name is Jane Cadwallader, and I am the research staff for the Arizona Board on Geographic and Historic Names, so on and so forth. And then the important part, currently the agency is considering a name change proposal for a summit in Coconino County, reference to the docket, reference to the name. We are currently seeking comment from the Flagstaff City Council. Would you be able to help me make contact with the council or bring this proposal to their attention? If they cannot comment, I am happy to speak with you, so on and so forth. And that is the nature of my bringing this matter forward, Madam Chair and others, is the suggestion that we get this slated on the council docket and have the council approve a letter to the state agency in support of the name changing. And I think on record right now, there's a support letter from our previous mayor, but there is not a support letter from the existing city council and mayor. I think it would be very powerful to have a letter with all 7 council members, including the mayor, be signatories to that letter. Now, the question is, when do we get this on the agenda? I take note from the previous discussion, and I knew this before the meeting, that Rose Tohi and others will be doing the listening tour next week, and she will be away on Tuesday, the 11th, because she'll be in Tuba City. Thank you, Rose, for doing that. But I also take note that the following week, our 3 of our council, including the mayor, will be in Washington, D.C., meeting with congressional delegates and so forth. And I worry that the next time we would be able to advance this to the council would be at the end of the month. I would propose and would like your discussion and feedback that this matter go to council next week. And in Rose's absence, maybe we can have somebody from this commission speak to it as it should come from the commission, I feel, and certainly with an Indigenous voice at the table. And so that is the ask. I apologize for catching you off guard with this. And Rose, I apologize that I'm suggesting to have this discussion in your absence. If you are uncomfortable with that, you can please let us know and we'll try to figure out another path forward. I think at that point, I'll stop sharing, Madam Chair, and turn it back inward for this this discussion. Thank you.
Yes, so I just want to let you know, Greg, that Commissioner Marks, through the Indigenous Circle of Flagstaff, which we both belong to, it has was discussed, and there is a plan. So I know that you know, there's different groups that most of us belong to here, and I would like to hear what Rose has to comment also, but we are well aware of and appreciate what you are suggesting at this time.
Thank you.
And Rose, how do you feel about this matter? I would like to also know.
Thank you, Co-Chair Toya and Greg. Well, I'm going to cry on Tuesday when this is going before the council. No, I'm just kidding. I'll cry good tears though. I think it's really important. I do agree with our city manager that this is something that really needs to go forward. We've already had a presentation from the youth group and about their thoughts and then we also had a vote with this commission that we support the name change and the work of the youth group. And so there's no problem as far as the commission is concerned. They had already voted on it and in support of this. And I think our next step was to recommend it to council, but the state already reached out, so which is fine all the way around. So the main thing is I think it's important that this go through, and I would suggest that that Commissioner Marks be part of the presentation, but also if the rest of the commissioners would like to attend the meeting and be there for support, that would speak volumes, I think. So that would be my recommendation.
I support your recommendation. As like I said, I did talk to Commissioner Marks, and I would definitely be there to support this matter. If that would be next Tuesday.
City manager.
Thank you. I'm thinking out loud. It's a great discussion. We, of course, will notify the youth involved with this as well. And we would do so right away. The thought that I'd like to express to you, and it came to me while I was hearing you speak, Rose, is I don't think there's any reason why we could not have you videoed in advance of the meeting and share that video during the council meeting. We have the capability to do that. I believe Sarah Langley is hopefully she's with us, but if not, I'm pretty sure I can make that commitment. But So you can have a presence at the meeting, Rose, without actually being there. Just a thought. Thank you.
That sounds wonderful. I like that idea.
Yeah, that's a kind and great thought. I'm glad to share with it. Greg, we appreciate you.
What time is the city council meeting going to be?
Our meetings start at 3 p.m. Every Tuesday. I don't know where on the agenda this would be. That's always a problem, but I will note that next week is a work session and those generally are on the lighter side. So I think, Commissioner, it likely would be, in the time frame between 3 and 5 p.m. We'll want to work around our youth too. It occurs to us that many, if not all of them, are students. So we'll want to respect their schedule as much as we can and make sure everybody can be present. Thank you.
Thank you, City
Councilmember
Manager
Duncan?
Clifton.
I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair Toya. Just on that, and Rose and I have had discussions on this topic as well. City Manager Clifton, does this, if this was to be approved at the state level, because we had talked about, can we change our marketing locally to reflect the original native names of the peaks? And Agassiz is the one on topic now. Do we have to wait for one or the other, or are they two separate efforts to change, how we market our lands up here on a city level or county?
Thank you for the question. I don't have a direct answer for you. The methodology that's now being pursued here through the state is not one I'm familiar with. We did a name change back in Colorado, restoring a historic name. That one went to Congress. We went a different route, and that one took some time. And in the end, it was a name change that was, universal and represented on the USGS maps and so forth. I'm just not acquainted with this process, although I have to say thus far it looks like it's a much easier process. So, but we can get answers to your questions, Council Member. Thank you.
Any more questions? We can move back to item 6. Rose, is that correct? Yes.
And council, let's see here. City Manager Greg, are you completed with your thoughts?
Yes, and I was just thanking you in the post. So in the chat column, now I'll just verbalize it. Thank you. I am. Let's all please plan on this being on the council agenda next Tuesday. I'm going to exit this meeting and go chat with our city clerk. Rose, I'm going to chat with Sarah Langley, and we will arrange for some video time with you. And that way you can share your peers virtually on video if you like. But we would love to have, that would be a very meaningful part of this. So thank you. And thank you, Chair, for letting me squeeze in with this item.
Thank you, Greg.
City Manager. Okay, so item number 6, general business, possible vote for item A, discussion and direction of the retreat for Indigenous Commission.
Okay, so this is really about having our annual retreat, and we have May and June. I have some money in my budget, so it would be nice to do that during May or June. And then it would also be really up to you to see if you would like a weekend, like a Saturday or Sunday to do this. I know everybody works during the week, so we're trying not to impede on that. And mainly what we did last time, we had an in-person one, and I'm open to having in-person or virtual. it really depends on your comfort zone and also where you're going to be at during that time. So roughly, I'd say not too long, like maybe let's say starting at 9 and maybe ending around 2, something like that, and then just have some food in between, or we can just have some food that people can graze through the whole time. So it just really depends on what you'd like to do.
Sounds really good, Rose. I'm all for the food and I'm all for um yeah, making stew, bread, our traditional foods. But if you have budget to do otherwise, whatever we can decide on is great as long as there's food for us to, talk over and get to know one another. And would you be comfortable in maybe sending out the some kind of Google date for those weekends to see how, if everybody agrees on a special
Sure.
day?
I would just welcome, right now, if you would prefer a weekend or a weekday, and that way I at least have an idea of what of the people here, what they prefer, and then we can include, I can also include the other members that are not here right now. So this is, what this discussion is for, at least for the next 4 or 5 minutes.
Right. So for me, I would like to say that I would be open to a weekend, as I do work Monday through Friday also. That's just my opinion.
This is Diana. Mine, yeah, I know that most of you guys work. For semi-retired and retired people, every day is a Saturday, but Sunday would be best for me. But keep in mind that there's a Mother's Day weekend, so that Sunday probably won't work out for a lot of people. And then the 21st, I will be out of the state. And then actually, I'm not available at all now that I come to think of it. But maybe a Saturday, the day before Mother's Day, I
Do
would
you
be available.
prefer June then? Do people prefer June?
Yeah, I prefer June. It gives me time
Okay.
to plan. Yes.
Yeah, and Rose, I think it's because also we have to keep in mind about NAU and all the schools
Graduations.
Yeah, for all that. I think June will probably work out for most people anyway.
Okay. Anybody else? Commissioner Lance or Zavala?
I'm okay with
There
June
you
and
go.
I'll move
Yeah,
June.
I think June sounds really, really great. There's a lot of weekend events going on for our outreach team in May, and one of the big ones, which we're going to send the flyer out next week, is the Native American Health Fair that North Country is doing. I've officially gotten the date. I'm confirming food and what's going to be there,
Yay.
and that'll be Saturday, May 20th at MEM. So we'll be really
Okay.
busy in May.
Good. Okay. June will be fine. How about Commissioner Yellowhair? Are you okay with June?
Yeah, June works. I'd say Hawaii's real nice in June too. So
You are too funny.
I'm just saying.
She can't. We will go there. All right. So we'll plan for June. I'll send out a doodle to see what day is preferable for everybody. And then we can start planning on, for sure, we're going to have the topic of open meeting law and commissioner responsibilities. Okay.
Great. Sounds good.
All right. And then for the last couple of minutes, you can go to number 7.
Okay, so yeah, we'll go to item number 7. Informational items from commission members, staff, and future agenda item requests. So the floor is open if you have anything that you'd like to request at this time,
Or to share.
or if we missed anything. Yeah, thank you.
Council member.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I just want to just to raise the question or the dialogue again, where there was some talk, I think 2 months ago, about creating a arts and craft fair in the city limits somewhere for our Indigenous artists and craftsmanships. And I just wanted to know if that's still in discussions, or because I think it'd be just really well attended and just a great opportunity, to highlight some of our local artists. So is there any more discussion on that, or have we moved any?
I can explain that one. So right now, we're moving ahead with the visitor center area. There is also, it's going to happen. I believe it's going on now. It's supposed to have started April 1st, I believe, and it's going to run through October. So that is in conjunction with Native Americans for Community Action and their economic development program. So the visitor center staff and NACA are working together to work that out. So that's the first phase. And the other one is a possible new one, and maybe we'll all merge together for next year, is maybe doing something with the market that's in the city parking lot over by
Market of Dreams?
no, over by on Beaver, that parking lot. The old city court.
Oh, yeah.
So we might do something with them next year. But right now they have everything planned out for this year. So next year might be a better possibility with maybe all of us merging together.
That would be great. It came back to my mind because my husband and I are planning a trip to Santa Fe because his wedding ring doesn't fit him anymore. And we had a local artist there make our ring. So we've got to go back and have him commission another one. So it made me think about, because they have a great weekend event there in Santa Fe a lot, and it was well attended. And I just love that. And hopefully we'll see that here in Flagstaff.
Thank you.
I got a question. So I noticed a few months ago you guys had talked about Native American Heritage Day, or renaming it, or getting it maybe a vote to see if it can be done on a different day besides the day of Black Friday, right? So I just kind of looked over some YouTubes and stuff like that. I've seen some of the Indigenous Commission meetings on there. So I just kind of glanced through a few of them, and that one just kind of caught my attention. Was there any kind of movement on that topic?
Yes, there are some commissioners that are going to be involved with Commission on Diversity Awareness. They're going to form a work group to start working on that. And so at the next meeting, I think it was April 17 or 19, the CODA, we call them CODA, Commission on Diversity Awareness, and the people who express interest from this commission are going to be talking about that on a more collaborative level to see how they can start doing that. And if you're interested, we can also, either you or Mariah, I can forward your names to them.
I found it pretty interesting. I just thought I'd ask about that topic there. I thought it was something of interest.
Okay.
Are there any others at this time?
I don't mind going really quick. I've been preaching this for a while from a lot of you guys, but redeterminations for access are in full effect starting April 1st. We've been seeing people falling off of the insurance already and people not knowing where to go get services. So we're trying to be vigilant and active with the communities, let them know we're here to help with getting people enrolled back onto Access or moving to Marketplace. And as many know, being Indigenous, we can enroll on the Marketplace at any time of the year. And there's a lot of more benefits for Access and that health insurance. So we're trying to be active and get our people connected with the resources and services they need. And one of the things we're noticing too with people dropping off of Access, that means they're also going to lose other resources and services that are based on their income or being eligible for Access. So we're just getting the word out.
Thank you, Commissioner Zavala. I will personally email you as I do work with individuals that are in that criteria. So I look forward to working in partnership. Thank you. Anyone else at this time? It is now 1:04 p.m. Okay, I believe we can call this meeting to adjournment at 1:04 p.m. Wednesday, April 5th, 2023.
Awesome. All right. And so
Thank
be
you.
on the lookout for that. And then also, I just wanted to ask before, since we already adjourned, let me stop recording here. Ah, how do I do that? Okay, stop recording. Oh, sometimes Teams, I can't find things here.